The sixth house has arisen, the dreamer has awoken, and soon the battle shall begin, taking you into the darkest hearts and depths of the sixth house. For today's Mod of the Day is Mamaea Awakened by Team Flamboyant Armigers, composed of Melchior Dog, Rubberman, Lucifer, and Endoran. A dungeon overhaul that just completely rebuilds the sixth house citadel of Mamea. Mamaea Awakened expands it with new infernal depths, treacherous encounters, devious puzzles and riddles, and a new quest to delve into the mysteries of Mamea. Just a rather massive dungeon mod, Mamaea Awakened is a truly inspired atmospheric overhaul for the vanilla game dungeon of Mamea, one of the optional sixth house dungeons from the Morrowind main quest. In the vanilla game, Mamea was a large, boring, maze-like series of caverns, just much in the same vein as many of Bethesda's dungeons. Under-detailed and tediously sized and designed that made backtracking inevitable. The only reason to venture into Mamea, outside of the optional main quest objective, was some just a pretty decent loot. But otherwise, it was kind of a pain to play through. And trust me, I know. I remember this dungeon from the vanilla game quite well. I played through it more times than I'd like to admit. And did I have fun playing through it in the vanilla game? No, absolutely not. I did not. Just outside of some pretty powerful loot, really the only thing that made Mamea unique is the utilization of the Bone Cave tile set. One of the only dungeons to use bone caves. Actually, I think it is the only dungeon that uses the Bone Cave tile set. And basically, the way it used it was to sort of give the impression of a giant underground spine that you were traveling through. Which would have just been really neat, but since it was just a retextured set of cave pieces, that effect was somewhat lost in the vanilla game. But of course, that's where Mamaea Awakened just really shines, for it takes this decidedly poorly implemented concept by Bethesda and fleshes it out in just a truly beautiful way. For now, the central corridors of Mamea are clearly lined with spinal bones and rib cages, giving you the appearance of traveling through the bones of some massive creature. The path branches in several parts, leading to atmospheric caverns that just connect to the main avenue of bones. This is a treacherously dark interior, with the occasional red glow of six-house torches just lending the bone-filled caverns of Mamea a horror-like quality, with bits of bone marrow scattered along the path just adding that ominous element, and strange tubing that seems to pump out toxic air. Along the way, you'll encounter an assortment of minions of the sixth house, from your typical sleepers and ghouls and dreamers, to dreamers clad in warrior's armor. And indeed, one of the notable things about this mod is that it includes a full set of sixth house armor, complete with a number of sixth house weapons, giving the dreamers here more than just naked flesh and simple clubs to fight with. While Mamea is a rather darkly claustrophobic dungeon, with corridors and passageways just often leading you into fights, there are some elements of verticality at play here, particularly with some of the side passageways and some of the more cavernous chambers. But that said, this does still hew pretty close to the vanilla dungeon layout, at least for the most part. But before we delve into, more of the dungeon, let's focus a bit on the quest here. For Mamaea Awakened comes with a new quest line that'll guide you to the dungeon of Mamea. And it all starts out, as many things do, by talking to people in Nissus about the latest rumors. This will send you to the local Imperial Cult chaplain, and before you know it, the temple at Nissus is under attack by six house forces, who've come to steal the Ash Mask of Vivek. After these initial battles, you'll be given an amulet to try and discover the hidden entrance to Mamea, with the dungeon only finally being revealed once you've gotten close enough. While not a long quest line or anything, this is, still a pretty fun introduction to what was, again, just an optional side dungeon for the Morrowind main quest. And obviously, this works pretty well with some of the other great 6-house dungeon overhauls, like New Lunaby and Kogarun Expanded, which are both dungeons just, associated with Morrowind's main quest. It'll come as no surprise that this is, in fact, just another mod from Madness Past, as this was the winning entry for the 6-house and Great Houses themed round of the 2018 season of Morrowind's Modding Madness. Though, unfortunately, Team Flamboyant Armigers they kind of flamed out after this release, due to a lot of real-life issues, not the least of which was Rubberman breaking his neck. I mean, he got better, but, that does kind of put a damper on things. But, yes, as a result of all that, Team Flamboyant Armigers wasn't really able to complete the 2018 Madness competition. But still, what they built with Mamaea Awakened, a mod that was, again, built in just 2 weeks' time, is honestly pretty breathtaking and just a real achievement. They took a dull, boring main quest dungeon and just really brought it to life, building over 100 new assets at the same time, much of which has now made its way into OBE data, where modders can use it for their own mods. And as a result of all that, they built one of the most popular dungeon mods available on the Nexus. This is, without question, just the definitive Mamea experience. And honestly, with this mod, there's really no reason to ever go back to the dull, maze-like vanilla game Mamea. Not when you can have just a much more exciting and atmospheric-filled experience with Mamea Awakened. But, with all that said, that's just, that's our mod of the day. So, as always, I've been your host, Dark Elf Guy. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.